Good morning. Today we're going to talk about everyday appliances in your home. Interested? Let's go. The first appliance we're going to talk about is called a washing machine. And it's simply an automated machine in which we put clothes in the front, in the main front door, close the door, and then it's basically will wash the clothes through a number of automated cycles, and then it will proceed to rinse them and then dry them. And so basically after probably an hour or so, or maybe even longer, you take your clothes out and all they need is to be ironed, hung up and ironed. That's a washing machine is automated, more popular in the West than in the East. Or put it this way, more popular in developed countries than developing countries. Developed countries such as the US, the UK, developing countries such as the Philippines, Indonesia, and African countries, okay, they tend not to use a washing machine in developing countries, but rather they tend to use a tumble dryer is more popular with the majority of the population. And a tumble dryer is a very, very simple appliance in which you have two places. One is for clothes, you put water in, and you have a big paddle that does this, and it flips the clothes backwards and forwards. And over a relatively short time, it washes the clothes by this paddle. It flips backwards and forwards. And then when it's done that, maybe for 10, 15, 20 minutes, you take the clothes out and you put it in the other compartment, and it just literally spins around at a very rapid speed, and within a few minutes, the clothes are dry. So that is not really an automated appliance. Very simple, relatively quick, cheap to run, and probably more popular in developing countries than a washing machine. The third appliance, actually, to be honest, is not really an appliance. It's a cupboard or a clothes cupboard where we keep our clothes, we hang them up, it keeps them out of sight. But I've included it here because it's very useful. We use it every day to store clothes and to keep things like shirts and all other things we keep, which we wear or we use every day. The fourth, also is not really an appliance, it's more of a utility, is kitchen cupboards. Now kitchen cupboards tend to be at two levels. One is eye level, where we keep cups and plates and saucers and things. And then we have kitchen cupboards at lower level, at knee level or waist level, and which have a hard top on top which we work on for cooking and chopping food and so on. The fifth appliance, which really is an appliance, is a waste bin. Basically we throw all our trash in there, waste food. When we're cooking and processing, we put all the waste into the waste bin. Something we use every day. And the sixth appliance is probably one of the most common things we see in every kitchen today, is a fridge. And the fridge basically is used to keep food cool, such as milk, eggs, cheese, and even vegetables, although they say that vegetables shouldn't actually be kept outside the fridge. But anyway, we use a fridge to keep our food cool. However, most fridges have a freezer compartment which keeps the food below freezing point. Then we have a light, and again, a light's not really an appliance. Basically a light bulb or a light fitting which is usually wired into the house itself. Sometimes we have lights which are plugged in near the ceiling, and then we also have a lamp. And so people get confused, what is the difference between a light and a lamp? Well, a lamp is usually self-standing with a base, and it goes on a small table. All right, you usually go to a small table, and you can have one at the bedside, for example. And you just reach over, turn it on, and it comes on. So a lamp is usually self-standing, often by the bedside, whereas a light basically is up near the ceiling. All right, light and lamp. Then we have a coffee maker. Well, if you're like me, I'm always in a hurry, so I just get a little sachet of coffee, ready-made coffee, throw it in a cup, get water from the dispenser, hot water, and just put it in, mix it, it's done. Takes you, what, 10 seconds? Whereas a coffee maker, or we can actually call it a percolator, is we get ground coffee beans and we put them in there, and then over time it percolates. It actually cooks the coffee beans with very, very hot water, steam, and eventually you get the pure coffee coming out of the coffee beans. It's called it percolates is the verb, and the noun is a percolator. Coffee percolator. Very popular with those who love their coffee. All right. The next item we have is a microwave. Very, very common. A microwave is so useful to heat things up very quickly. You know, you can put cold food, cold drinks even. Sometimes I have a cup of tea or coffee and I forget about it. I'm busy and suddenly it's gone cold and it gets nice and hot very quickly in a few seconds. And sometimes if you have ever had food or a meal and it starts getting cold, you just put it in the microwave for a few seconds, it's hot again. And so there's that. And then we have what we call a rice cooker. And a rice cooker is common in every house in Asia. A rice cooker keeps rice cooked and it just keeps it hot, and it's used literally 24/7. We use it all the time. Everybody eats lots of rice. It's a common thing. The next appliance is we call a stove or a cooker. And that basically is either gas or electricity. They are either gas or electricity, in which you have a gas rings which heat the products in the saucepan, and or you can heat drinks up as well. Some of them underneath have an oven which you bake food. The next appliance is a kettle. A kettle is literally something to heat water up, boil water from cold very, very quickly. It's very fast. It's used to heat water. All right. Not everybody has a kettle in Asia, but generally speaking, most homes have some kind of kettle. So the next item is a blender. Or the next appliance is a blender. And a blender is basically a machine that goes zzz, and you put food and fruit and vegetables in. You turn it, put a little bit of liquid, you turn it on, and it literally liquefies, or it turns food and things or products into liquid within a few seconds. It's a very efficient way of making a drink or making soup. All right, that's called a blender. B-L-E-N-D-E-R. The next thing I want to talk about is appliance is a Wi-Fi. A Wi-Fi router. And a Wi-Fi router is in a home, and basically what it does, it distributes an internet signal throughout the home. So whether you have a laptop, a PC, a phone, or some appliance using the internet, the Wi-Fi router is a central little appliance which distributes the signal pretty well 10 to 20 meters in different directions around the home. Next item or appliance we use in the home regularly is a phone. It's a charger, and we can use a charger to charge our phones, our cameras, our laptops, and they're commonly used today to charge the batteries. And the next item which we also use is we call a chair. All right. Now, a chair is just something you sit on. It's as simple as that. In a way, it's not really an appliance. It's more furniture, but I've included it here because we use something we use all the time. It's something we sit on. Be careful, because a stool and a chair is not the same thing. A stool has got 3 or 4 legs and it has a top, as you can see in the picture, but a chair has a side to it and a back to it. All right, that's the difference. The next item I want to share with you is called a table. Now, a table is something we can put food on and different things on and use. And we use for everyday things, to eat on, to put things on, to even write on. However, many people get confused between the difference between a table and a desk. A desk is something we use to study with. So students use a desk at school, And at home, we have a table for everyday use, all right? A desk is for studying, a table is for everyday use. The next appliance is a laptop. Yep, the good old laptop. A laptop is a self-contained little computer which is very useful and you can carry around everywhere. I have a laptop. I have a MacBook laptop which I love so much. It's so useful. I can take it everywhere. Very, very quick and easy to use. All right, that's called a laptop. And they're relatively expensive compared with, say, the next appliance, which is a PC. A PC is a self-standing computer. It's on its own, and then attached to that is a screen and speakers, etc., etc. So whereas the laptop has everything in there, speaker, screen, is all one unit, a PC has an actual computer with all the memory and everything else, and it has different as a PC. The last two items, 23 and 24, are, people would say, are not really appliances, but the reason I put them in there is because they're so important, and that is a tap. Yes, a tap to turn the water on. Have you ever thought what your life would be like without a tap? Can you imagine it? No tap in your life? What a weird experience. Can you imagine in a kitchen having no tap? You'd have to get water out of a bucket. And how would you put the water into a bucket? So a tap is just like this here. It's a simple appliance. It's usually plugged in or connected to a water supply somewhere. All right? But it's an everyday, it's not really an appliance, but I've included in everyday appliances. It's because we use it so often, and often we don't even think about where it comes from. And the last appliance is a water dispenser. It's self-standing. We put basically a 19-liter water container above there. We put it on the top. Sometimes you can put it underneath, but often the common one's on top. And through gravity, the water comes down, and we can either chill water, so it's chilled, or we can heat it so it's pretty hot. Not normally boiling, and not normally ice cold. So it's usually chilled and hot, not boiling, nor is it icy. And that's called a water dispenser. Very, very useful. Many homes and offices have those. So my friend, those are 24 appliances we use in the home. Not all of them are true appliances, but I've included all these things because we use them every day. They are things we use every day in the home. Okay, my friends, please subscribe, and remember, in the description under the video, we have a lesson for you. It's a multiple choice lesson in which you select A, B, C, or D. So basically it means as you're listening, you can complete the lesson, complete the answers, and when you're finished, please email it to rodgurucental@gmail.com. And that's it. Have a great day and see you again. Bye.